Hello, 646 students. This is Amy Garrett-Dickers. I want to take a couple minutes to talk you through some of the important elements of the syllabus and the course calendar. You, of course, can read the whole course syllabus on your own, but I want to just point out some specific aspects of that. As always, you can find all the materials in the modules. So if you click on modules, you'll see at the very top there's an important course materials module, and this will stay at the top of the page. You can always find the syllabus, the course schedule, and then there's a list of screen captures such as this one. And so every screen capture that I make that has to do with some element of the course, whether it's an assignment, an overview of a module, whatever, I'll list those in that page so you can always find them. So we'll start with the course syllabus. If you click here, it opens it up as in a window in a Canvas. You can also download it. I have downloaded it, so just for use with the actual recording, I'll pull the syllabus up in Word so that you can see it better than on the little screen in Canvas. So we'll talk about a couple important elements. We are, of course, talking and thinking about global forces in education and education writ large. That's non-formal as well as formal education. Different ways of approaching things is K-12 as well as higher education. As well as preschool education, lifelong learning. There are lots of different elements that we'll be discussing along the way. And we're going to be using an international comparative lens. And I'm going to do a kind of crash course teaching you about comparative education and different theoretical perspectives that we utilize as a field in comparative education. So you'll see at the top of the syllabus my contact information. I'm not in the office. Very few people are on campus, even this spring semester. I'm in my office at home. You can call me, but I won't be there to answer it. So it'll leave me a message though, and that'll send me via email. I also have a Google Voice number, so we can always arrange a time to chat on the phone if needed. Easiest way to find my availability if you'd like to meet with me is to click here on the bookings link, which is a live link in the syllabus that takes you to my calendar and shows you what times are available. So you hopefully can find a time that works for you. If you are a working professional and you need an evening time, then don't hesitate to send me an email and we'll see what we can do to find a time to meet. We do have, of course, 4 synchronous sessions. These are required, and the dates here, I will make sure well in advance of the first synchronous session that you'll have the Zoom link for that. Please make sure that you do attend those synchronous sessions. We have 2 books that we're using. One is Comparative International Education Issues for Teachers. If you're not a teacher, don't let that title fool you, because it really does talk about some key issues in education. It's written for the perspective of teachers, but it definitely works even if you're not a teacher, because it really is the core concepts that we're discussing. And then a book that we're going to be reading that I absolutely love, that will be a kind of independent book study that we're doing towards the middle of March, end of March, and hopefully you'll love that book too. I put it in the intercultural awareness unit. So just scroll through. There's lots of things in here you can read on your own. It's important to kind of think about the main objectives for the class. We will be thinking about and talking about the field of comparative education. My PhD is in comparative education, so I did my whole program in comparative international education rather than just one class. So that there is a field of comparative ed. So I'll talk about that, the different approaches that we use, different methods in comparison, really understanding as much as we can in a short semester the education in different countries and what it looks like, some of those big emerging issues, and then you'll have at the end of the semester an opportunity to really delve into the research around your own specific areas of interest, but looking at that research from a comparative lens. So if your dissertation topic is on girls education, girls STEM education, then you'll be looking for research-based articles about girls STEM education from other countries rather than the U.S. perspective. So many students have found that this is, especially at this stage in your doc work, that this assignment really helps you think about diversifying your literature review for your proposal. So always use APA, always use APA, always double check, always proofread, run Grammarly, whatever you need to do before you turn in your work, especially because you're getting really close to the end and all those large papers that are coming with your proposal and dissertation. You want to make sure that you are being as precise and exact as you can. Please note that I do have a pretty strict late assignment policy. please turn in things on time. If you know there's an issue, then tell me ahead of time. This is going to be an issue. If an issue arises on the day that something is due, send me an email and say, I need to let you know that this is going on and that I might be late with my assignment. So you need to let me know. I teach leadership as well, and part of leadership is being, proactive and recognizing when we need help and recognizing when we need a break and recognizing when things we aren't necessarily going to meet those deadlines, but also stepping up and doing the best we can to get those deadlines. So it's a nice little balance there. But I can't help you if I don't know that something's going on. So please make sure you keep in touch with me and let me know if something's going on that needs my attention as your instructor for the class. As mentioned, we are having 4 synchronous sessions via Zoom. Those are required. They roughly equate to about 1 per module after this first introduction module. More information there. Please come to those synchronous sessions. They're required, but also they're important because I really need to have you there so we can talk about some of those big issues we're discussing and reading about. So you'll see that we've kind of organized by themes here: intercultural awareness and reflection. So there's an intro survey and an ending survey, the book study activities, which we'll talk about, increased understanding of global perspectives. There'll be multiple text and multimedia responses that you'll have over the course of the semester that all kind of gets lumped into this category. Theme of comparative education, you will be picking a country of interest, and then you'll be really exploring in depth the education system of that country and then presenting it to us in class. An explorations module, digging deeper into global education. I have 4 modules. You get to pick which one you're interested in that are some of those kind of emerging issues or current issues in global ed. And then you'll be doing as I mentioned, your annotated bibliography about your own area of interest and write an executive summary of that. So that's kind of where we are. So again, intercultural awareness and reflection, increased understanding of global perspectives, comparative education itself, and then digging deeper. If you have any questions about any aspect of the syllabus, please don't hesitate to let me know. I can only answer questions if I know what the questions are. So we'll go back to modules and I'll pull up the class calendar. So I will open this one and leave it in Canvas because it's shorter than the syllabus document. I think you can still see it pretty well. So unless otherwise stated, everything's due by 11:59 p.m. on the date that's listed. So this first module is very, very short. It really is just an introduction to the course. I'm sorry that says Blackboard. That's a copy paste that has gone on for multiple years now because it's been multiple years and nobody's brought it to my attention before, but I noticed it now. And the course participants. So I'll talk about Module 1 as separate screen capture. Module 2 is comparative education as a field. You'll notice this module is the only module that's only 1 week. Every other module is 2 to 3 weeks long, and you'll find either like an early due date and a late due date, or there'll be some in the module, or there'll be some due dates that are just like at the end of the module, you turn things in. Module 3 is education around the world. I've also outlined where your synchronous sessions are. As I said, there's 1 per module after the first module. And then the major assignments I've already put there when they're due, because that way you can go ahead and track that. There will definitely not be due any earlier. It's possible that some of these might get pushed a little bit later, but this is what we're aiming for. Module 4 is mid-March, mid to late March. This is kind of the independent book study. There'll be some choice board activities. You get to pick which ones you want to engage in. With that, the book, The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down. And then global explorations. This is that one where you pick from topics that I've chosen, and then you pick your own topic to explore in the annotated bibliography and executive summary. Then we have graduation and grades are due. So hopefully that gives you enough sense of kind of the way that we're going to work in the class. If you, again, have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know.